And as you listen and slowly drift into the rhythm of these words, you might just begin to realize that change isn't something you do. It's something you remember, a truth that you return to. Because somewhere, you already know your thoughts, they're chemical spells. Your beliefs, they're biological instructions. Your words, they're wands. Your actions, alchemy. And the way you breathe can awaken dormant codes in the mind. Focus now, not on learning something new, but on remembering who you were before you forgot how powerful you really are. Let me show you how, not by telling you, but by reminding that deepest part of you that already knows how to rise. Imagine a gardener. He whispers to seeds in the soil. You'll grow, you'll stretch, you'll bloom. And somehow, without pushing, they do. Your thoughts are those whispers, and dopamine. That's the sunshine on the leaves, released when a goal is imagined, when gratitude is felt, when a purpose is believed. So let's plant something new. You begin to realize that beliefs, they aren't just thoughts you repeat. They're chemical architects. They shape your neuroreceptors. They sculpt your future with every choice, every shift in perception. You set a goal, dopamine flows. You visualize success, dopamine grows. You speak a truth with certainty, dopamine glows. And when you act, you fire and wire those pathways that turn potential into pattern and pattern into power. Let's test this with a story. There was once a man who believed he was ordinary, until he smiled at the mirror one morning and said, "This isn't confidence I'm waiting for. This is confidence I already am." He began to walk differently, shoulders forward, eyes locked on his dream. Each day, he set one small goal, sometimes just making his bed, sometimes speaking up when it was easier to stay silent. And every success, no matter how small, lit up his brain like fireworks. He felt something stir. He didn't call it dopamine, he called it destiny. A woman once learned the power of reframing when heartbreak knocked her down. She said, "This pain is not the end. It's fertilizer for who I'm becoming." And it was. Because what you believe about your struggle determines how you process it, and how your neurochemistry rewires itself around the story that you choose to tell. She learned to anchor peace with a breath, motivation with a mantra, and joy with a simple smile. You don't need pills for this. You need presence. You need pattern. You need permission. Not from anyone else, but from yourself. So give it now. Say to yourself, I allow myself to rewire. I allow myself to rise. I allow my dopamine to flow effortlessly as I become more of who I am. Because you're not broken, you're becoming. And as these ideas begin to nest and layer inside, you may notice something shifting, a flicker of knowing, an inner yes that needs no external validation. The core presuppositions are living truths now. They're breathing inside you. Failure is feedback. Emotion is fuel. Reality is a mirror. Beliefs shape chemistry. State determines fate. Authenticity attracts abundance. Curiosity rewires identity. And this isn't something that you have to force. You simply allow. Another story. A teacher once told a student, "You don't meditate to escape the world. You meditate to rewire it from within." And so she sat, eyes closed, visualizing not just peace, but pleasure, reward, achievement. Each inhale, imprinting success. Each exhale, deleting all limits. Her receptors shifted, her habits changed, and without trying, she became the future that she once only imagined. You're doing this already. Every time you say thank you to a moment, dopamine whispers more. Every time you take a breath before you react, dopamine rewards the pause. Every time you act in alignment with a belief, dopamine becomes a bridge between who you were and who you're always meant to be. Now let's nest a few loops deeper. You might wonder, what happens when you align all these techniques? The hypnotic calm of meditation, the precise fire of NLP reframing, the vivid ecstasy of visualization, the strategic elegance of self-hypnosis, the subtle art of anchoring. And I might suggest you've already begun doing that simply by listening to these words, because your subconscious mind hears in poetry, not prose. It responds not to logic, but to possibility. So let's tie it all back to one truth. The dopamine system. It's not your master, it's your mirror. And as you focus your thoughts, direct your language, align your energy, shape your state, you begin to unlock it, like a symphony awakening, in every cell of your becoming. And every day, with each step, you're installing the new operating system. Operating System Limitless Self 2.0. One where goals become fuel, gratitude becomes gravity, action becomes automatic, and belief becomes biology. Not someday, now.